What is subjective consequentialism? Have you ever wondered how our personal beliefs shape our moral decisions? Today, we will explore subjective consequentialism, a fascinating branch of ethical theory. Subjective consequentialism is a type of consequentialism that focuses on the expected outcomes of actions as judged from the individual's own perspective. This means that the moral rightness of an action is based on what the agent believes will happen as a result of their choices. In contrast to objective consequentialism, which looks at actual outcomes, subjective consequentialism is all about personal beliefs and expectations. Here, the agent's moral obligation depends on the consequences they foresee and how likely they think those outcomes are. So, if someone believes that a particular action will lead to a good result, they are justified in taking that action, even if the actual outcome turns out differently. To grasp subjective consequentialism, it helps to first understand the basics of consequentialism. This ethical theory states that the morality of an action is determined solely by its consequences. An action is considered right if it leads to the best overall outcome when compared to other options. Traditional consequentialism assumes that the relevant consequences can be known or estimated in an objective manner. Subjective consequentialism changes this by incorporating the agent's personal estimates of how likely different outcomes are, along with the values they assign to those outcomes. The agent is expected to choose the action that maximizes the expected value. This is calculated by adding up the values of possible outcomes, each weighted by the agent's subjective probability of that outcome occurring. One key aspect of subjective consequentialism is its recognition of the limitations of human knowledge. Many consequences are uncertain or unforeseeable, so this theory emphasizes the agent's perspective and the information they have at the time of making a decision. It encourages individuals to think carefully about the possible outcomes of their actions and to assign reasonable probabilities based on their understanding. However, subjective consequentialism is not without its challenges. One issue is how to deal with unforeseen consequences that cannot be assigned probabilities. Some suggest treating these outcomes as equally likely, but this can lead to unclear moral guidance. Another challenge arises from the fact that subjective assessments can vary widely among different individuals, which may result in inconsistent moral evaluations. From an ethics and morality standpoint, subjective consequentialism highlights the importance of intention and informed judgment. It suggests that moral evaluations should take into account what agents reasonably expect and intend, rather than focusing solely on actual outcomes. This aligns with a moral view that respects human limitations and the role of rational thought in ethical behavior. In practical terms, subjective consequentialism encourages individuals to reflect on the possible outcomes of their actions, assign reasonable probabilities, and consider the impact of their choices on others. This approach can be particularly useful in complex situations where outcomes are not fully predictable, such as in policy decisions or everyday moral choices. By recognizing the limits of our knowledge, subjective consequentialism offers a realistic framework for making ethical decisions.